So coming up soon, we'll see Ashland University versus Team Pizza coming into this. Let's again look at the first map that we're going to be hitting.
Map. Show me the map.
Noombani. Now, Noombani is, again, a really fun course, especially when you get that very first opening. That very first point, the capture potential from there is a lot of fun because you've really only got two real strong ways of approaching. You can come down that main alley, which is a good, strong team push, but it is difficult to organize. Mm-hmm. You can go through that side room on the left. However, that is just a tunnel of death. Yeah. Once you get past a certain point, if your tanks can't hold up that shield end, you're just getting slaughtered. The third and fourth options are similar in their strength and in their weaknesses. The third is you wrap around the far left and come around through the outside. That being said, you're opening yourself to a lot of boops. You're very easy for a strong Lucio player to boop you over the edge. And that top bracket is fine, except you're isolating yourself from everyone else.
Can I just say that I appreciate the esports community so much more than the normal sports community just because of the terminology.
The boop?
Like, can you imagine Kirk Herbstreit on College Sports Day saying something like, "Yeah, I'm really excited to see this college sports team really implement their that good boop across the way. I want to see this pro Lucio, really strong player, really implement that boop."
I'm really excited to see how Goats pulls out this year.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it is a very like, again, Noombani is its most entertaining at that first point. Now, once they get that first capture, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit of a slog, and you're kind of pushing your way down that line until we get to that final point. And in all honesty, there are very few strong chokes on Noombani once you get past that first cap. You've got that original arch through the front doorway, then you've got that second arch after you capture that second point, but in all honesty, you're really waiting for the end. So they're going to try and hold that cap as long as they can. I don't see us ever letting that first cap go willingly, especially on Noombani when there's so little choke. You've got to hold that map early and on.
Real quick, since we're actually about to start the game here, very quick, Temple of Anubis and Ilios Dorado and Busan. Anything interesting that you're expecting to be a niggly bit?
I'd be interested to see how T does with Symmetra if he plays her on Anubis. Again, I'm excited to see the treehouse. Ilios, we can't ignore it. Kieran and Super playing the healers. You got the Boop and you got the Bash from Boop and Bash. That's good for Lucio and Brigitte.
The BB.
And there's a lot of crowd control that you can do on that. Dorado, pretty straightforward. I don't know. I haven't seen a ton out of Ashland. And again, we haven't seen anything out of Pizza up to this point except for that one match. And Busan, I'm not even projecting that we're going to get a Busan. I'm going to call it. I don't think we're going to get to Busan. I think Pizza might be a little bit broken. Did I say it wrong?
Malco-san, I sound like Seth Rogen with a little food in my mouth.
You know what's funny? The number of times people have told me I look like... I remember specifically on a stream, a commenter told me that I look like what happens if Seth Rogen gave up.
I don't feel so bad anymore.
Yeah, you just sound like Seth Rogen. I look like what happened if Seth Rogen's comedy career never took off.
Oh, wait, did it take off?
Yeah, he was like 13 doing stage comedy.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Illegally.
At least I sound like a famous person.
I look like John Goodman's bastard child.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, getting into Noombani. This first point. Look at that smooth. Look at our DP's smooth movement. Look how crystal clean that is.
Good job, G. Good
job. As we wave around. Guys, can we span over to that billboard to the left real quick? Guys, let's all remember to relax and unwind with legendary
Organic Oil 2030. Old Glen Wales.
All right, we should probably get to the match.
Is that a teacup on the bench?
Is it?
It's a coffee cup.
It's a coffee cup. Why is this important to us?
Why was the gondola important?
Because
look at that light effect.
Look at this Millennium Falcon. Oh, hey, there's a match going on.
Hey, yeah.
I knew it. Okay, so they are tree housing. They're trying to set up for that tree house with the Symmetra to give the slowdown in the back regard. They've got a Diva to chase in case they get a Pharaoh or a Widowmaker. And then the Bastion pocketed with the Mercy. You've got Orisa set up. Let's see what Team Pizza's coming into it with Zarya, Ana, Reinhardt, Moira, Diva, and Genji interesting. They got the 2-2-2. No, 2-3-1. I can count. So let's see what they're going to be able to do. Now, I got to predict Pizza's expecting this Bastion.
Yeah, they got to be.
They've got to be ready for it. That being said, they're not doing a ton of scouting, so I don't actually know if they know the placement yet. They all seem to be gathering in that room, and they're going to push through that front door, which is just going to get lit up the second they come through, as T is just firing down those big Symmetra blasts, and Josh Kiss is just laying down that covering fire. Green doing a good job of keeping that shield up, and Can't Go going down. The Red Moon trying to go in to counter that Bastion, but just unable to.
Oh my gosh, Joshki's just melting
Super
people.
keeping alive. Green pushing in, leaving the Bastion alone and exposed, but I think the confidence level of this team is so high at this point as T teleports back up to assist, and Team Pizza recouping in an attempt to try and make this point.
I think that looked like a good call from CS4. The Reinhardt looks like he was just telling everyone to wait and regroup. I think it's a very good idea. I think he was trying to be more cautious than everybody wanted to be on that first push, because he hung back in the back of the group, and he was actually the first one to get absolutely punished by stepping out when they did and where they did.
I will say, Joshkiss having his ult in that tank mode is going to make this a lot more dangerous for them, but they're going for that top line push, trying to get more of a beeline and trying to negate a lot of the power as Quit goes in and just smokes Can't Go. Just destroys that Reinhardt. Ario trying to get in there with that Zarya, but not able to. And this is the strength of the Symmetra Bastion build. The teleport to the opposite side, giving them that mobility and the ability to just jump wherever the Bastion is while staying in turret form is totally a necessary part to this build. It gives him the mobility that he lacks, and it completely changes how this team feels. I'm interested if they're going to go back up top. It seems like it looks like they're going to go back up top.
Yep,
Red
back
Moon
up and across.
switching back to Symmetra in an attempt to counter, setting up the teleporter across, but the teleporter immediately gets smoked, and of course, Red Moon drops down, unable to keep it up, and drops dead to Joshki's fire. Opening fire up on that port. Again, you gotta wonder, Can't Go is keeping that shield down an awful lot. He's got his ult. Quit Badger and jumping in to start making a little bit more assault, pushing that point a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Ashland's looking at the clock, minute 30 left, and they haven't even touched the point much. Only 1/3 of that thing taken.
Yeah, they got one tick on it, which might be enough for them if they can really hold that point, but they really don't want to risk it. They are holding off. I'm not quite sure what exactly they're waiting for, but now they got the push. They got the full team up. The Zarya, or the Symmetra with the teleport right onto the Bastion, but it is not enough. They get smoked, and there goes the D.Va self-destruct, dropping just to clear the point. It does not manage. Oh, I'm sorry. It does kill Doctor, and manages to just reset. Now, that being said,
Red Moon taking Bastion now.
Ashland having 5 ults to Pizza's 2.
Now, come on, Badger. Where's your ult? Come on, man. Make it a 6.
He literally just used
Yeah.
Team Pizza's strategizing. I still gotta wonder about them coming through that point. Gotta wonder, is that the best option? I mean, this is going up and it's gonna drop. The Symmetra shield negating a lot of it. The Orisa shield negating a lot of it. Honestly, that Symmetra shield not doing a whole ton. They didn't even really need to drop that as the coalesces fires from Team Pizza trying to help clear that point, but they're just unable to. That Symmetra shield taking so much damage, and there's the Earth Shatter, but it's unable to break through Orisa's shield. There goes Insaphase, and
Team Pizza's not going to have enough.
that's going to be
2-1.
it.
Wow.
And setting up
Wow,
just
wow.
in case. It's almost like they didn't know how long they had to hold. And a really just mechanical gameplay from Ashland.
Absolutely.
Holding that point for like almost pinpoint accuracy. Again, you can't ignore the strength of that Symmetra build. Man, Symmetra, the delays you can get from slowing people down with the turrets, the teleport that you can get for transporting Bastion, it eliminates Bastion's one major weakness, which is his immobility. And so there is a lot that you can talk about when we talk about that build, but that is just a classic, clean build from Team
Pizza
Ashland.
didn't have any way that they could think of to get around that. They kept doing the same thing over and over. I think they were so just at a loss.
And I don't.
Wow.
And again, like, as much as, like, I will say one thing about this tournament is like, we've had all these hybrid and we've had all these escort maps, and honestly, we haven't really gotten anywhere. Like, if you think about it, we've gotten, I think,
2 points?
2 points total. Like, most of this has just been trying to cap. And in all honesty, we haven't even seen the back half of most of our maps. Because they're just...
I think we did on one map because the team just pushed them back and pushed them back and pushed them back.
That's fair.
But that doesn't count, right?
No, it does not. All right, 17 seconds until the next match begins. Team Pizza on attack. Arrow switching it up to the Orisa with a pocketed Mercy.
Skis
Rhyme.
on Sombra.
It's interesting. I'm guaranteeing that Joski is going against the Bastion, which he knows they're going to have. It's almost a duplicate comp, only switching out Insaphase for a Moira as opposed to the Ana. But it looks like an almost identical comp. That being said, I will say Pizza's down on point. They are not taking advantage of the verticality of a lot of that. And there's that teleporter set up. But honestly, it's kind of weird placement. Bastion unable to move, which is the whole strong point of that Symmetra Bastion combo. And there goes Green in for that dive, charging in, pulling the Reinhardt off point. And
Doomfist wrecking shop.
With that, able to make those fires. However, Red Moon still up and rising. They are not able to keep that point, and it was a good, solid hold. Green and Quit both back on point. I think they're just holding back, trying to keep resin up that ult until they can make a move on point. But Team Pizza, they've got that corner locked down. They're doing everything they can to try and hold back.
Skis and Badger look like they're trying to set something up.
I got to imagine that they're probably going for that hack, but here's the question. When you've got this situation, who are you hacking? Are you trying to pull down Bastion, or are you trying to pull down the Reinhardt? And it looks like they just dove on top of it. Combined with Green, they were not prepared for it, and they just went through and mowed down that team. That was a clean wipe. I don't even know what to say about that. That was quick and clean and procedural.
That was some really good setup. Keeping the Diva and the Sombra in the back there. They scouted it out. They waited it out. They looked at it and found what they needed to pick out.
And then they waited until that Winston, Green coming in with that Winston, just diving on point, shielding him off so that they can keep pointing. Here's where that moment is, and he just drops in with the big hammer of his left fist and just starts damaging. And again, like, Tesla Cannon doesn't do a ton of damage, but the ability to hit multiple enemies at once while they're all scattering is just, like, undeniable. And it was a really mechanical build that talks about good communication.
Well, and I think that's what T had tried to do with Doomfist earlier when he had dove in there, and he almost got it. Knocked one or two characters up and away, but, you know, not quite enough
time,
sustain.
but in all honesty, it was just enough. They got in and they were able to make it, and that was a pinpoint win.
It was clinical on how to pull off that comp and then tear it apart.
Yeah. And they did a really good job. And I think part of the issue is again, it's all about positioning.
Yeah.
You know?
That corner was good, but it didn't leave many options open for the portals.
And in all honesty, that corner does exactly what it was supposed to, which is it stopped their Sombra from being able to come in, sneak behind, and to hack the Bastion. But all it did was give the two tanks a clear target to go to. They knew they had to get in that corner. It's not a hard corner to get to. Versus, where if we talk about where Team Ashland set up on that treetop, you got to wrap around. There's no easy way to get there from either side. So,
yeah, it's not as open.
So we got to really, it's a really interesting match, and it's really, it shows how much just simple placement. I mean, we almost had clone teams going into that, and just simple placement did a lot to change how that game went on. So, moving on to the next map, we're heading into, I got to remember, Nubis. And again, I'm going to call it now, not seeing it. I'm calling it now. I'm putting money on the table. You are going to see that same treehouse from Ashland.
You're probably right.
We're going to see that same setup. We're going to see...
Yeah, these guys.
Yeah, these guys. We're going to see Quit Badger and his Diva. We're going to see Green possibly as the Orisa, Super or Kieran as your Mercy, and then T's going to be your Symmetra, Joshki's going to be that Bastion. It's going to be the exact same setup. And Team Pizza need to figure out how to adapt to that. They need to learn what to do going into this, because I do not think that they have an idea of how to counter that properly. Now,
they've got to get someone behind it. They've got to get someone to split it up, take those shields down.
And on all honesty, in Temple of Anubis on that first point, that is a really difficult thing to do. They're going to be bouncing from side to side on that top on that capture point. A Widowmaker up top can do a lot, but let's see where Team Ashland ends up setting up.
Yeah, it's right on top of this shop, I think is what you're talking about.
No,
right?
I'm talking right on top of this.
Oh,
to our left.
yeah.
They're going to set up, I'm putting money that they're going to set a Symmetra. Do they got the Symmetra? No, they don't. Okay, I was wrong. I totally was going to call that they were going to treehouse. I am completely wrong. You are right. They're going to set up right outside this trap, and they're going to do a much more classic, simple version of this setup, but no Orisa, no Bastion. That's an interesting choice. I will be interested to see what they do. That being said,
maybe they're expecting Pizza to have thought of a counter to the Bastion.
it's very much possible. That being said, Team Pizza coming in with a 2-tank, 3 heal, and a single Sombra. I think Sombra is there to counter that Bastion that Team Ashland just didn't come out with.
Well, we'll see what kind of punishment's going out.
There it goes. They all seem to be doing that push right now. It looks like they're kind of teasing it, but they're starting to make that full move wrap around. And there we go. We've got Team Pizza pushing into that small corridor. It's a fine play. The problem is that you're isolating and trapping yourself. You don't have a ton of exits. You don't have a ton of open space.
Yeah, this lets T just absolutely wreak havoc with all that splash damage.
Especially when you consider the fact that that one health pouch in there isn't being able to do a ton. That was a really early coalescence. That was surprisingly early, but unfortunately didn't seem to land as much as Team Pizza are forced to retreat a little bit just in an attempt to survive.
Yeah, Pizza was doing a good job of pushing up there, but I don't think they had really many options to actually get through there shy of getting lucky.
Here's the thing. Whenever a team positions up in this little shop area, you gotta try and pull them off this choke. It's a really strong choke, and I don't know that this comp is gonna allow them to do that. They lack the mobility that they need. Zarya and Ryan are not mobile, or I'm sorry, Zarya and Ryan are not mobile. The Diva can possibly dive on, but that is not a long way. I know this is goofy, but I kind of want to see a Wrecking Ball. I kind of want to see a Wrecking Ball just to try and pull them off point, but they're going to keep going through that same room and keep our focus fire.
See, here's where I'd like to see the Red Moon pull some flanks or something. Get out of that corridor, because you're not going to be as effective there.
Yeah, that coalescence, they're just going to be able to just sidestep it and avoid a lot of that combat. And again, that's exactly what happened. Coalescence did do a little bit of damage. Joski's down, Supra's down, but they're coming back in. Super coming back in with an ult. They're now pushing on point. It's definitely Doctor putting in some work, definitely doing a little bit more. But again, it's just not enough. Doctor just keeping behind, trying to do as much damage and keep the Reinhardt alive. But now it's just a stall tactic. You get Quit Badger and just keeping it alive.
Yeah, Brigitte oh goodness,
Whoa,
who's playing Brigitte? No.
No. Zarya? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Losing where I'm looking.
Yeah. And there it is. There's that Graviton Surge followed up by Green just laying down the hammer, just crushing through, focusing on the squishies, then moving in. Totally gonna wipe, but that's a fair trade considering you got Insaphase out of mech. That being said, here comes Kieran with that stall tactic of the trans. I'm also losing it. oh no!
Glad it's not just me. There's so much going on.
Oh no!
They're finally on point,
Finally
though.
on point. They're holding it. They've gotten their first tick. There's the Diva self-destruct to try and clear the point.
They've got the advantage.
Joski's pushing. They're not letting him have this first point. And huge hammer is able to knock down both Insaphase and Ace, but not able to take out everybody. Can't go is still up and swinging is Ryan. It is just an equal battle moment between this. You got two tanks on the point trying to hold it as long as they can. Now we're down to just Quit Badger and Kieran trying to keep it up with that Lucio. Keeping that Boop, trying to keep him off point, but is unable to keep. They're focusing that Brigitte on that Lucio, and they are not able to. At this point, Ashland's really running the risk of trickling in. They're not able to get enough people on point. They're not grouping up. They're afraid to lose this point, and understandably, they're halfway to capturing it.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what they're thinking. I think there might be just that little bit of panic because their plan didn't quite go accordingly.
And again, another panic. It felt like that Quit Badger, that Graviton Surge really captured no one. Now, that being said, I'm going to shut up because
Yeah,
they held
they
the
got
point.
it. Hey.
They held the point. It wasn't pretty, but they managed to do it.
Good effort by Pizza. Like,
It was a genuine good effort, and honestly, I thought they had it there at the end. But you know what? Speak to the professionalism of Ashland. They did not let that up.
No.
They did not want to give away that very first point, and they kept on it. And granted, it was trickle, but it was enough. And it speaks to the quality of their players. They were able to keep trickling in one after another slowly, but they were able to keep it up. Ashland University doing a really good job of holding that point as long as they could.
Yeah. I think we were a little worried that it was going to go a totally different way in that early part of the game. And I kind of wish that Pizza hadn't cordoned themselves off into that little corridor and just eaten all that splash damage. If they had just gone with what they ended up doing and funneling under that bridge, I think they would have been more successful. I think they might have captured it.
And in all honesty, so much of that point is just pulling off the choke.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what happens here. Now, the Lucio can help with that. And again, T going back to Doomfist allows for them to partially push that. Again, a very mobile team. Really, the only player that doesn't have a lot of mobility on Ashland's team is Kieran as Anna. Pardon me.
It's been a long day. There's been a lot of stuff going down.
But Kieran as that Anna is really the only one who lacks any mobility, but she has such a long range. We go to Team Pizza, Arrow with the Diva. You got the Lucio and, again, the Anna. Zarya, Ryan, and Ash. Not a ton. You know what I mean? They're locking it down. So I'm going to be interested to see if this is a dive comp with an Ana backer to try and support it. It looks like it to me, but I don't know where they're going to go for. Winston jumping up with Green. He's kind of bouncing around, trying to take those looks, but he sees the Ana, gets countered, and is diving into the room. I think he was going to try and dive to that point.
I think he was looking to dive, and I think he was also looking to draw aggro, and I think he did a good job of both of those things.
They're moving up to the top point, and it looks like Team Pizza's kind of ready to counter, but the only one up there is Red Moon and that Anna, or that Ash. Arrow up there with the Diva to try and counter. Really good anti-heal grenade dropped onto the team, but they're not able to capitalize on it, and it's just going to wear off before anyone can do any real damage to Team Ashland. Ashland dropping in. Arrow getting low after that grenade. Arrow out of mech,
steamroll.
and there's Arrow, and there's Can't Go, and there it is. That's it.
That was a beautiful setup with the Great Ape falling on the rooftop there and dropping that.
Team Ashland making that push to try and meet them at the spawn, try and reduce the time they can get there. It doesn't matter. They don't even need to. There it is. That's the second point, and that's the first cap.
Yeah, I think that was all planned. I think Green, I think that was the plan, was for him to hop up top there, look at what was going. If the opportunity presented itself, to jump down, interrupt everything going on. But if that wasn't the case, then to just draw aggro, let everybody sneak underneath, and then for him to join them, because he's got a little bit of weather to take.
Now, let's not lie to ourselves. That was an extremely good play from T, but there was a lot of luck to that. Like, there was a very dangerous play holding that rip tire back until you saw it. And then the first person he saw was that Zarya, that enemy team Zarya. And the second he popped it, could have been a bubble. You had no idea how many people around. He kind of got fortunate. He ended up wiping a good chunk of the team. But again, it feels like Ashland is starting to panic a little bit. It feels like something that Pizza's doing is throwing them off just a little bit, and they're getting a little more risky. Not so much in Numbani. In that map, they seem pretty clinical. But in this map, there definitely are kind of pulling some punches and throwing people off. Going into this third map, this is Pizza's last chance to get the W on this map and make it count for
Pizza,
something.
are you going to make us go to 5 rounds? Oh, I'm going to need some more coffee if that's what's going on. But I'll root for you.
I'm going to need a new throat.
Yeah.
But going
Well, you can't have mine.
That's fun.
Because chat likes mine better.
Oh, God, I hate you so much. Going into this next round, this is it. If Team Pizza can't cap a single victory, or can't get this victory here, there goes the map, and there goes the match for them. Now, that being said, last match, they went 2-3.
Yep.
Held it out after the first two matches they lost. So there is a chance of this. We've seen
there's a chance they're going to get their second wind.
But I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Ashland is, again, just putting in the work, and they're consistent. Team Pizza, I'm hoping to see it.
I'm hoping too. I mean, Ashland put on a clinical that first map. But that second one, yeah. Ooh. that wasn't quite as nice. Like you said, they panicked. They got a little worried. Well, maybe not panicked, but their plan didn't go accordingly, and then they had to do a really risky plan. Now, it worked. They got it. But I think this might be the edge that Pizza needs.
Well, we will see what happens. Pizza going with a little bit more of kind of a goof comp. Not necessarily goof in the sense that it is not legit, like a viable play, but they are planning on using those environmental kills. You can tell that by the Lucio. You can tell that by the Roadhog. Can't go. We haven't seen play Roadhog yet, and yet now that we're on Ilios, he's going to try and hook, and especially here at the Lighthouse, there is a lot of potential to throw people over the cliff.
Yeah, pig! Let's do it!
That being said, though, we can't ignore T.
No.
T playing that Doomfist that he does so well, he has a lot of opportunity to send the pig flying. And I really want to see him spike that pudgy ball again. Team Pizza playing a little bit more defensively. They're kind of holding back, not rushing the point as much. They're letting them move in and separating the team. But I don't know if that's the right move. You've got you've got a DPS like the Red Moon up top, and you know he's pushing into the side, but you still have your well, Joski's now being down. It's almost weird. Ashland's kind of allowed themselves to be separate. That being said, they've captured the point. But they've kind of allowed themselves to get separated a little bit. And you got to wonder if that's a choice or if that was kind of just a survival technique. But, I mean,
It might have been a little bit of both.
It may have been. I mean, at this point, they've got the point. Team Pizza regrouping, trying to figure out what to do. Team Ashland holding that point down, keeping a little bit of shot variety as Team Pizza starts to push down that main alley.
But they're taking it really slowly. A lot of waiting back there.
And again, just really holding back. I think they're trying to get more of that straight-on push as opposed to coming from a side and angle where you get a little bit of choke. I think they're really focusing on Joski's, who is sitting up top with the McCree with Anna to back him up.
Taking some delightful pot shots.
I think they're really just trying to counter that so that they can avoid that high noon if it does end up coming their way. And it is charged at this point, but Joski's goes down. Again, they're down a man. So is Team Pizza. At this point, it's a 1-to-1 trade.
They traded Cowboys.
They traded Cowboys, but here comes.
Oh, the big boop.
Yep, there it goes. There's the Graviton Surge, but no one there to really capitalize on it. It's just kind of holding them back. It almost feels like delayed. Fleet T getting in to try and get that kill, but ain't able to. As Diva supercharges. Wrong player.
Yeah.
As she self-destructs, but still unable to push on the point.
Good job on Pizza to contest and really get in there.
Interface
Stop them at
now
about
on.
80%.
Yep, but Cinephase is going to get on. You know what? Joski pushing in, T pushing in, trying to delay. Wow, big kill for T.
Yeah!
As he both takes out the Roadhog and boops the Diva over the edge. Can't go, and Instaphase getting taken out. Really impressive play by T. We cannot really undersell how much T has been doing for this team.
T is just giving them the business.
Doctor on point trying to stall out that overtime, but it is almost.
Oh, look at that fist
there
coming
too.
in behind.
Oh, there
Oh, the
actually
big pig!
the big push.
Down.
Big push onto it. Interface. There goes T with the ult, trying to get that boop up, but unable to send anyone over the edge. Interface in point, trying to keep it in, but out of mech now. You got Baby Diva, but Doctor just honestly holding point at that point as he pops Coalescence to try and do something, but the sound barrier from the from Ashland's Lucio keeps them all alive, and they have secured.
T was putting in absolute work. Did you see all that zoning and the double spike and the punch out of the room? My God, man.
I mean, when you think about it, like, he was in a closed-off room
Yeah.
with a Roadhog and a Diva, two players who are good at close range, and he still managed to keep them off their feet and juggled. So moving into the
Getting
ruins,
chills.
I'm excited to see. I mean, I'm betting we're still going to see the same comp, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think
It's
we're going to see
worked.
much change, but you got to see something different from Pizza. Pizza's really not giving us a whole lot to change into.
No, they're floundering right now. They're really struggling, and that's really unfortunate. I was pulling for Pizza.
I mean, there's still potential. This map is not over. There are 2 more points that they can capture, and if they can do it, we can go into a round 5, potentially. But
No big pig this go around.
no big pig this go around.
Instead, we get an armored man.
And it's running, Team Pizza running a variant on Goats with a Moira as opposed to Zenyatta, which is still a strong play. It feels like they're going something a little bit more classic and a little something more reliable. Versus when we talk about Team Ashland. They've got T still with Doomfist, they've got Joshki with a Widowmaker, and then they're rocking the 2-2 otherwise with a Winston Diva, a kind of a dive comp.
Yeah, it was really dangerous there, hanging out next to that ledge. I could see a lot of people really wanting to just
a lot of people were
push
waiting
off.
for that charge. But again, now running into this Goats comp, you know, T is getting focus fired down.
Moira down, T
is
down.
taken out. Green getting focus fired now. They seem to be communicating a lot better as Team Pizza seems to be isolating individuals and pulling them out. It is doing a really good job in keeping themselves alive. Arrow's still able to take out a fair number of people, but the nano boosted Diva is holding its all against these healers and this out of tank Diva. Until T comes in, does a really strong clean and wipes up what's left. You know, that was a really strong hold on
And Ashland's got the
Pizza's part.
capture.
Ashland's got the cap, but it was a really strong hold on behalf of Team Pizza. And Team Pizza's coming into this fight with almost 4 or 5 ults, while Ashland's only on the edge of 2. So if they can use that ult economy properly, they might be able to get a recap.
As a matter of fact, it might be coming in right now.
It might be dropping in.
Lucio just got his.
Juicer dropped his bop. There's the Diva with the self-destruct going high, and the shield goes up just in time from Kanko to stop it, but unable to save the whole team as Primal Rage pops off from Green, just trying to keep himself alive, holding that point as long as he can, bouncing around. Diva from Insta-Phase getting pushed out of Mac. Arrow coming up behind to do a quick cleanup of Green and of T. T still in there fighting as long as he can, bouncing around, popping up for that ult. Here comes the meteor drop, but unable to take out anyone in that line. Able to push into the back line, though. Can't go, really just trying to hold that point as long as possible. Doctor keeping alive, and Green kind of soloing on the point at this point. Primal Rage coming in at just the time he needed it.
Doing a really great job of skirmishing and keeping a lot of aggro in between all of these members of Team Pizza is Green.
But unable to capture Team Pizza. They're so close to actually capturing that point, almost 2/3 of the way through, but they are unable to. And Team Ashland's just going to be a hold them back. Now, Team Ashland trying to get a little bit more aggressive, but Insafe is getting behind the lines and doing a little bit of damage before running back to help support their team.
Yeah, I think Ashland realized that they almost lost it right there, and realizing they've got 20% left to go, that they really want to lock it down and not give them the option.
Going this in their second point, you know, we're about 10% away from Team Ashland walking away with this whole match.
Wow, Reinhardt just absolutely melted by that bomb.
And you know, Red Moon on point with that Brigitte, trying to focus that Diva. I will say, Brigitte can handle Brigitte, but there's the Insta-Phase with the bomb taking out Green, losing Quit from her mech, popping into the baby Diva. T still alive, trying to outlive that Diva, but unable to fully drop before Can't Go, getting back on point. T now trying to solo it, but unable to. And there's
And
the
a
capture
from
for Team
Pizza.
Pizza. Green coming in, wrecking ball. Almost out of just timing? You think I almost that was just a speed choice?
Yeah, I think so. I think he wanted to get in there before Pizza could get the capture, and I think he spawned just before and just a little too late. So now I think Ashland's going to regroup, and they've got 1%. I think what Pizza needs to do is push it. They need to get over to Ashland spawn and not give them time to regroup. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know. I think they're really too cautious. I mean, the thing about it is one really good sneak around, and you can flank a team that overexposes itself too much. And here we go. We got the first start of combat of it. We're starting to get in there. They're still keeping their distance. Team Ashland not wanting to overcommit too far. Remember, Team Ashland only really has one ult, maybe a nano boost coming up here soon. But in all honesty, they're running up against a unulted team who's got 2, 3 ults coming up. So they're really having to play cautiously, diving in, diving out.
Green looks like he's going to try and do some more skirmishing here.
And there goes the Diva bomb, but isn't able to connect. No, Green separating himself with that bubble, keeping Insta-Phase out of that kill range, dropping it, Insta-Phase out of mech, Doctor behind, trying to keep his teammate alive, and there goes the Primal Rage, forcing Aerial almost off the map
overtime.
completely. cap into overtime as...
Only 30% needed by Team Pizza.
But Team Pizza getting 3 on point, really holding on as long as they can. Insafe still staying alive. T just juggling players left and right like some kind of nightmarish carny.
Just like before, he's putting in
Well,
work,
there it
zoning
is.
him out.
Can't go, trying to stay alive, but unable to as Quit Badgerin just keeps firing down, wearing down that health. And there it is, Ashland taking the point. Team Pizza putting in a spectacular final push.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we know they.
Yeah, but that was cool. Good job, Pizza.
Insaphase
Really putting in work.
really doing a good job, especially when we're talking
dang.
about this Diva Bomb. This was just really well timed. It combined with that Zarya Graviton Surge and just smoked the whole team. And I think this was the moment that gave him that push, gave him that ability to capture, and really changed the whole pacing of the game.
And I still think if they had followed up, if they'd followed Ashland back to their spawn, really pressured them, they could have got more kills and kept that advantage rolling.
I think they were just a little too afraid of overexposing
Understandably.
the backside. And it's
Understandably,
fair.
yeah.
Ashland is doing a good job, and it's the thing we talked about. Ashland finds the hole and exploits it. And I will say in that push, Pizza didn't give it any opportunities. Pizza had it clean and mechanized, but Ashland just saw that opportunity. So we will go into the 4th match. It will not really affect who moves on, but it is
Just for funsies. Just for funsies. At Dorado, got us an escort mission.
Now I'd love to see the back half of Dorado.
You know we're not going to get
I
there.
know, but based on every match we've had up until this point, I know we're not going to make it really past that first arch.
The market. You think they'll get under the arch?
I don't think they're going to make it to the market. I think they're going to get to the arch and then stop. Yeah. But we'll be excited to see. Team Pizza, Team Ashland, both doing really good job. Team Pizza trying their hardest, but Ashland is just so precision in their point.
Hey, chat, can we get some shout-outs for Pizza for putting in some damn fine work?
Yeah, let's get a
whoa.
Go Pizza.
Go. I mean, we got one.
We got one.
We got one Go
Go
Pizza.
Pizza, Go Pizza, Go.
Because they are the underdogs, and man, I mean,
They're holding out. Like they're trying, and they're putting in work, but it's just
yeah.
And as
Can't be fucking what?
National
What?
Pizza Day.
Is it?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be really coincidental.
Yeah.
And very unfortunate.
Yeah, very sad for them.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful guitar and that cactus.
I mean, I think they heard you.
I think they did. I think they knew it was coming.
Can't go just like, nah,
All
man.
right, Team Pizza, if you can hear me, I'd love to hear the Futurama ring on the bells. That will separate the real players from the ones who don't really play. If you don't know what I'm talking about, those lovely bells up top can... Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
He's doing something.
He's trying it. It's really hard for that for Genji to do that.
Is he getting it?
I don't know if he's actually hitting it. He's trying. He's putting in the effort. We'll give you an A for effort.
Ace, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right. Team Ashland, again, they've been strategic in choosing their choke points. They've chosen some further back choke points, and before they've chosen some up close. This is actually a really good choke point for them to hold. That being said, again, not going the Bastion, going more with that sniper and from the Hanzo, from Joski, and T bringing the heat down with their Junkrat. Can't Go getting slept, really didn't hurting their team. Great play from Super as he's able to put the big man to sleep. They're going to keep trading these fights over and over again as now Team Ashland jumping onto the point to try and actually slow it down. They're getting forced back slightly as Can't Go pushing forward against Green. Green with a big charge, unable to make it stick. But there goes Can't Go, forcing forward, getting chased, and finally getting brought down by Green. Green just cleaning house. And again, it's like I said, man.
Made it to the arch.
It made it to the arch. It's not getting past it. I'm calling it now. Team Ashland is too good to let it pass this point. From here on, they're just going to keep poking and prodding.
Is this their strat? Are they? Because in the last match or the last game where they were playing, oh goodness, who did they play before? Oh my gosh, who did they play before?
Bonky
The
Boys.
Bonky Boys. Like, I could picture all of their faces. But
I
oh
just
my gosh.
wanted you to hang in the wind for a minute.
Yeah, thank you. When they were playing Bonky Boys, they let them get to the arch and then brought down the hammer.
That's right. And, you know, it is a totally fine strategy. Why not bottleneck your enemies in? Great hammer from Green, followed up by that nano boost, and he's just going to wipe through. The Red Moon trying to sleep him to counter that, but honestly, it's too little too late. He needed to land that a lot earlier. Now pulling back into the spawn, hiding.
Just going to regroup.
Just trying to regroup,
Come back out.
re-strategize.
Genji, going over top.
Poking, but
And getting
immediately
annihilated.
dropped. And I'm not 100% sure, but I believe from in our booth, I heard someone slam their hands on the table, and I'm going to put money down. That may have been Ace getting very upset because that was a beautiful headshot coming out of Team Ashland.
Yeah, that's the thing you can't really get mad at. You just kind of, all right.
Team Ashland holding it at that point again, not making
Ooh.
that Archer. Big bomb drop from T. And again, we're just trickling them. They're not. Arrow sneaking in kind of behind. Green unaware of him, and there it is. You know, he's trying to get that drop on him, but you've got too many players. They're spread out. And again, it's a thing that we talked about. We'll talk about a little bit later, but you know, they're keeping their spread distance. Their positioning is really important. And Team Pizza is just not able to find those holes. Team Pizza kind of regrouping. Can't go, kind of pushing forward a little bit solo, trying to get around to that point. Quit badgering, you know, keeping some fire on him, trying to keep a little bit of distance.
T just putting some hell down on behind them, and I think really drawing some, well, maybe not drawing some threat.
Doctor dropping that Transcendence to try and get a little bit more of that push. But there's the Graviton Surge, and then followed up with the Dragon Strike, that 1-2, really forcing them out of place. And at that point,
Wow.
Doctor's just hanging back. I think he's just trying to generate ult at this point. I think he's just trying to survive and generate ult with a couple of dabs from Quit Badger. But honestly, that was just
Beautiful.
a beautifully choreographed 1-2. And again, it's all about the communication. I mean, that's the other thing. When we talked about ult economy, Ashland's really good at knowing when and what to use. They use 2 ults to clear the whole team. They've still got 4 in back. So I'm going to be interested to see how they do that. Here comes Green dropping down. There's the nano boost to Quit Badgerin. I think that may have actually been a mistake. I almost wonder if he was going for the Green. Quit Badgerin, kind of a waste of that ult, but able to drop the hammer from Green. And there it is, just keeping him off point long enough. Ashland University.
Well, hey, good job, Pizza. You got the cart actually just past the arch, so you actually beat out what we said we thought you'd get. So,
If they didn't get it to the fountain, I'm not calling. They needed to get.
You don't want to give them a consolation prize.
No. Let's not lie. They needed to get. Look, that being said, man, you got to give it up for Pizza. They're doing really good work against just a physically imposing team.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Ashland is absolutely clinical at times,
and it's so well structured, and the communication is so there. And it's the other side of that that we haven't talked too much about is when those 1-2s happen, right? When it's the combo that you're getting, it's not a delay. It's not like the Graviton Surge is hitting and then a minute late, like 30 seconds later, and that ult would have been useless. That Dragon Strike would have been useless. No, it is one and within a second later that Dragon Strike comes through, and it's really about their timing down.
And I think that comes down, like you said, to their communication. I mean, they've got 2 coaches here, one of which is playing Hearthstone, like any good gamer.
Good coach, Ed.
But as well, Patrick, when he was walking around talking to other teams, getting interviews, he was saying that Ashland's communication is just superior to every other team this year, including OSU. He can hear them being vocal. He can hear them talking. Right. But yeah, he shakes his head. Ashland is clinical. They're calculating. They are good to go. They move like water at times. It's great.
Stop saying the Bruce Lee quote.
But it's a great quote.
It is a great quote. Here's the thing. All right, coming out of this, Ashland going for the push. They got the pharmacy, and I gotta wonder. It looks like they've got it set up to run it. And there goes T.
Mercy and the
Super.
Pharaoh.
The pharmacy is just going to try and jump over top of this wall and rain down hell from above. And
there
there
it
it
goes.
is.
Knocks 'em
Scattering it,
off.
pushing forward. Green diving in, seeing that opportunity. Quit gets slept, but immediately gets woke up by, again, it looks like bad communication. And they're pushing everybody back while they're jumping on their tanks. They're, who's on point? Who's pushing that point? It's a solo Ana pushing that point forward with Joski just giving a little bit backup. But that Anna probably got that tank or that escort 2/3 of the way to that point. And there it is.
Whoa.
That's it.
You talk about clinical. That was a clinical.
This is the thing you gotta know. Like, you've gotta watch for that peel back. And here's exactly what happened. Ashland and Green, we'll talk about how good Green is again, because I won't shut up about it. Because here's that nano boosted hammer, and then just walks through. Just walks through. Doesn't have to think. Doesn't have to worry about health. Doesn't have to worry about a shield. Just keeps walking through. He gets slept, and in all honesty, it was too little, too late. But the thing we got to talk about
Is that what they call a wombo combo?
maybe. I mean, sure, if you want to, man. Whatever floats your boat. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. But here's the thing we got to talk about, right? When it comes to Ashland, they also know reactions. Like, you can't just play the game thinking only about what your team's doing and what your comp's doing. You got to think about how the other team is going to react. And they went with that dive comp and pushed deep into the backfield, knowing that Pizza would overpeel. They peeled back and went too far to try and compensate. They were too worried about their backline getting mowed down. And what happened? Anna sat on the cart. Super sat on the cart by himself. Or I'm sorry, not Super. Kieran sat on the cart by himself and pushed it most of the way to the point.
Yeah,
and
it was a wonderful setup, scattering the whole group like that, and then shoving the out-of-mech diva in the back, who should have just been melted immediately.
Yeah.
Great, able to pull all that aggro back, and Anna could just sit there and just, I don't know,
and just sit on the point and move the escort forward, and no one was back on that point. Joski was set up in that arch, able to take down headshots if he needed to,
shots.
and it was getting everyone's backside. Reinhardt was facing the wrong way. Like, you have to acknowledge that there's just a superior knowledge of how people will react and how how teams are going to react, and setting up for that peel, knowing that peel was going to come, and just saying, cool, we're going to leave our sniper back here. She'll heal. If you get too close, she'll sleep you, and she'll get the point before you even get back to the escort. It
was a wonderful setup as well for the what'd you call it, a pharmacy?
Yeah, the farm. Okay,
this is good.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll break a little bit of the fourth wall. Caleb, little relatively new to the Overwatch world. That's why he's doing color. The pharmacy, just so you know, is the combo of Farah
I
and
know
Mercy.
what the pharmacy is. I just,
I'm just kidding.
Trying to make color here. I'm glad you get to poo-poo on my parade every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Good.
But
the delay on that was wonderful
Holding
delay.
back
I was
until your team-
curious. What, like you said, pharmacy. I was like, okay, yeah, they've got it, but wow, they're taking forever to get there. But it was good that they did, because what that allowed was to allow Pizza to get really set and for them to really just worry about the escort.
Because they started by seeing that tank. They saw Green as that Winston.
Yep.
They saw Quit Badgerin as that Diva, and they had them set up in the corner. And then it just they were ready. They were ready for that attack to dive at them. They were ready for them to try and push the line.
Yep.
What they weren't ready for is to get suddenly shifted off that point and forced into an open space where they all had to scatter. And scatter's what they did. They did not stay behind that. Like, they could have stayed behind that Ryan shield. They just held out a little longer and then regroup. They didn't.
No.
They scattered. They started panicking. The green Winston dove in, started doing damage to the Reinhardt. Quit got slept, but immediately got woken up as if no one was even aware that he had gotten slept. And it really turned into a cluster for Team Pizza.
And they kept it rolling too, like we already said. Diva running the back and just pow, 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 pow.
All right. And with that, we're going to be back to, I believe we're getting into the finals. Yes, we're getting into the finals now. And so we will be back in about 20 minutes with that match.
Bye-bye, chat.
Bye.